Hi, hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Greta, and if you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know that on this channel we talk about spirituality, personal growth, self-help, law of attraction, manifestation, magic, and all of that juicy stuff. And if you do enjoy my content, please do click that subscribe button. It means a lot. Click that notifications bell, thumbs up, and leave me a comment as well if you would like. So today's video is going to be another video about spiritual awakenings. I actually made a video, that was my first ever video, about how to deal with anger during a spiritual awakening. So I do really enjoy spiritual awakening topics. So I thought that today we would talk about the 4 major causes of a spiritual awakening. So if you do want to learn more, please stick with me. And let's hop into the rest of the video. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about what is a spiritual awakening. And I'm going to try to simplify it and just put it in my own words. And to me personally, a spiritual awakening or enlightenment is a transformative process in your life, transformative period in your life when the core of your beliefs and the foundation of your views, your understanding how the universe works, it all gets shaken up. So your perspectives change, the way you see certain things, your views, it all gets kind of disrupted.
I don't know anything anymore.
And all of the spiritual awakenings, they're super different. And your process and your awakening can be completely different from mine. And people can actually go through several spiritual awakenings within their lifetime. And all of them can be completely different, and they carry a different meaning behind them and a different lesson. And for some people, it can be a very exciting time in their lives, and they feel what I would call high on life. And for some people, it can be a super morbid, just draining experience. It can seem very pointless, and you just question everything so much that you just don't really see any reason behind it at all. And it's important to understand that whatever you may be going through at this moment, there's always the light at the end of the tunnel. You always will find your way back home and your way back to yourself. And the reason behind your enlightenment is going to be revealed in one way or another. So just try to let go, try to go with the flow, and just trust that the universe knows best, and the spirit and the divinity, it always works with you. So rather than working against it, try to really go with the flow. So just like your experience may be completely different from mine, the cause of your spiritual awakening can be completely different from mine as well. And I feel like it's important to understand, because sometimes we try to compare our experiences and what caused us to go through what we're going through, and we try to compare it to other people, but that's the worst thing that you can do, because as I said, your experience and the cause behind the spiritual awakening can be completely different, and certain things can trigger the process. The same things that maybe triggered the process for you, they were not the triggers for me. So in this video, I'm just going to explore the 4 major causes of a spiritual awakening and just kind of try to dive deeper into them. So the number 1 reason behind a spiritual awakening is acknowledging your spiritual side. And this is, I think, I would say, one of the most common causes of a spiritual awakening. I cannot be sure and I cannot be certain, but that's where I would place my bet on because I feel like especially nowadays, there are so many people that discover their spiritual side and get in touch with it. And usually for most of us, it starts with these fun things like the law of attraction, manifestation, and understanding that maybe my thoughts do create my reality. You discover meditation, yoga, the chakras, and you just discover this whole new world of possibilities and such interesting things. And this type of a spiritual awakening and the cause of such spiritual awakening, it's a super fun one, because usually it can be a bit scary at times, but you usually get super excited. I know that my experience, my first spiritual awakening, when I got in touch with my spiritual side, it was a very, I wouldn't say that it was like a super, super joyful experience, but it was definitely a happy one. At times it was a bit maybe hard and difficult, but mostly in general, I just felt so inspired to discover more. And even if you're like the biggest skeptic, the fact that you're watching this video and felt curious to click on it, or maybe somehow got to this video, it just means that it's meant to be. And it means that something inside of you kind of gets tickled.
Oh, it tickles.
And you kind of, just dip your toe into the water, and maybe, just maybe, you might allow an idea that there's something more, which is amazing. And I feel like that is what kind of triggers the process, and you just kind of dive deeper and deeper and deeper. And again, coming back to my own experience, I always knew that there's something more, and I was the very first person to always believe that there's something more. I always believed in the unbelievable, but I never fully acknowledged that side of me, and I never fully acknowledged the spiritual side of me, and I never knew how to actually lead a holistic life. So I remember when I actually discovered spirituality and meditation and law of attraction, and the fact that your thoughts really do create your reality and you manifest all the time, and I just started devouring the information. I was like, wow, now I know what I need to do. Now I have the tools and resources. The second cause, a major cause of a spiritual awakening, can be trauma. Now, as people, we can have so many different traumatic experiences. So there are definitely different experiences and events that can cause trauma and cause wounds that need really, really deep healing. But I definitely think that very, very deep traumas can cause the most amazing spiritual awakenings. These types of awakenings are usually the most difficult ones, but they're the most profound ones. Because in essence, what happens is you've surrendered yourself to the divinity and to the spirit and to God, whatever it may mean to you, because you don't have anything else to do. You've exhausted all of the actions that you could have taken. You just kind of give up, you let go, you don't see the point anymore. So the only thing that is left to do is to turn to prayer, to turn to the spirit, and just kind of put your faith into the universe's hands. And that's why we often see, when you're going through very difficult times in your life, or people are going through very difficult times, they actually start, seeking help, and they turn to prayer, and they actually start believing into something more and start believing in a higher power. And especially a very good example that I can give is when people go through like very rough patches and through the lowest lows in their lives, and suddenly they just completely shift their perspective. They turn to God, they become very spiritual, and they completely change their lifestyle. And this is what happens literally when there's nothing left to do. You just have to trust in the divine, and then something just shifts, something gets triggered, and you literally embark on this amazing journey of enlightenment. It's not easy, but it's definitely amazing. Now, the third cause of a spiritual awakening can be healing your trauma. So this can actually kind of facilitate your awakening if you're already are going through one, or it can cause a completely separate awakening as well. So it can it can go many different ways. But when I say healing your trauma, it's basically starting to work through the blockages, starting to heal your wounds. So it can mean many different things. For some people, it's, you know, seeking out help and working with the guru, with the guide, really embarking on a deep meditation journey. For some people it can be therapy or hypnotherapy. For some people it can be shadow work or ayahuasca ceremonies, or all of them in essence, everything that I just said. So healing your trauma can really trigger another profound spiritual awakening, because you start understanding the reasons behind your anxieties, your fears, your states of consciousness, and you kind of start working through it, understanding yourself better. And most of the time it's an ugly process, but as I said at the beginning of the video, it always leads to the light at the end of the tunnel, and there's always an amazing feeling that waits for you at the end of your awakening. So when a spiritual awakening is caused by trauma, it's basically caused by surrendering yourself, and surrender is the key. But when you start healing your trauma, it is highly related to acceptance. So when you accept where you are at that moment, and when you accept all of the things that you're going through, and you just kind of let go in a sense as well, that's when you can actually go full force and embark on the process of the spiritual awakening. So in essence, you start working with the spirit and not against it, and you just let go, accept, surrender, and just see the journey unfold. Now, the fourth cause of a spiritual awakening is a very general one, and it's just deepening your spiritual practices and just diving deeper into spirituality and getting in touch with your spiritual side that much more. And it can be a lot of different things. Some people start a Kundalini practice, and so many people say that when they embark on the journey of doing Kundalini yoga, it triggers an awakening in them. For some people, it can be, just like I mentioned, shadow work, or doing hypnotherapy, or maybe meeting a specific person that sparked new interests and new beliefs in their minds. And it can be so many different things, but the thing is that this fourth cause, I couldn't really put a label on it, because in general, it is very general. Anything and everything can cause you going through an awakening. So it's basically just pushing the limits, getting out of your comfort zone, and seeing how yet again your beliefs and the foundations of your beliefs, they just shift, and yet again you find yourself questioning certain things in your life, and that's an amazing place to be in, because I definitely believe that that's how we grow. Getting out of your comfort zone and going through enlightenment, going through awakenings is what pushes you to be better, to do better, to connect with the world, with the divine, with the nature more, and connect with yourself as well. So those were the 4 major causes of a spiritual awakening. Do let me know your thoughts, and do let me know if you think that I didn't mention something. Please share your own experiences, how you felt going through your spiritual awakening or awakenings. And yeah, just let me know if there's something that you want to share. And I just wanted to let you know that I really, really wish you a happy week or weekend if you're watching it at the end of the week. And I wish you health, love, fulfillment, and happiness. See you next time.